Hi, and welcome to Studio SN. My name is Sara Naumann, and today we're going to play with Shimmer Sheetz. Shimmer Sheetz from Elizabeth Craft are an iridescent and metallic mylar, so they're a plastic. And you can use these sheets as is, or you can alter them as I've done on this card. So let me show you what Shimmer Sheetz look like. I'll bring in a couple of them. As you can see, they are highly reflective. In fact, you may be able to see my camera or even me in the reflection here. Now, if you're a crafter who likes bling and zing and high shine, you could probably think of a million really cool ways to use these. But it may also surprise you to know that you can still do some very pretty, soft, vintage effects with Shimmer Sheetz. So let me show you how I created my card. I'm going to start with two pieces of Shimmer Sheetz, and I've got the orange iris and the green iris. And the first thing I'm going to do is run them through my Cuttlebug. So I'll simply put a piece of this into my Cuttlebug embossing folder, and this is the textile texture, and run it through my embossing machine. And these can be used in any embossing machine if you don't happen to have a Cuttlebug, but maybe one of the other brands. So I'll run it through with the orange, and then I'll run it through with the green. And then when I'm done, I've got two beautifully embossed pieces. And they almost look like metal to me, like embossed metal, which is a look I didn't expect from a mylar plastic. Now, I wanted to take away some of the color on here because each one of these sheets has a white core. So when you sand the top of it and you hit that embossed area, it will reveal a bit of a white core, which gives you a really cool vintage and distressed effect. Now, just like when you're sanding wood, you'll want to make sure that the dust doesn't migrate all over your studio. So I just keep a damp cloth or paper towel on hand and kind of dab that off. It won't hurt it. Damp, not soaking wet. And then after I've got my two pieces sanded, then I just run them through my paper trimmer. And you can safely run them through your trimmer. It won't hurt the blade or anything. I went ahead and cut a couple of strips. Now the green is about 1/2 inch wide and the orange is maybe a little bit more than 1/4 inch wide. I also cut some green strips and some white strips. I'm going to use those as well because I'm going to weave them. So let me bring in my piece of cardstock, and then I'm just going to start with my I think I'm going to start with the embossed ones first, making sure that I've got the embossed side up. So I'll start with orange, and then I'm going to lay down a green, another orange, and another green like this. And then I'm going to weave in my green cardstock. So it'll just go, it goes over, under, and under. And then with my white pieces, one, under, over, under. You'll need another set of hands for this, or it would be nice, and over. Like that. And then my other white piece, same as the first one, it's going to start under, go over, and under, and over. Okay, so I end up with this loosely woven piece, and then I can kind of fiddle with it, you know, as I get it woven. So I could keep this really tight if I wanted to, or I could, you know, spread it out a little bit, which is what I chose to do. And then I also kind of angled these a little bit too. The reason that I used not all shimmer sheet pieces is because I wanted them to stand out because they're so pretty and unique. So I put in the white and the green kind of as a counterbalance, if you will. Then what I do is just gently flip it over. And again, need to figure out, okay, do I want them snugged up really close to each other or spaced out a little bit? And I like the spaced out effect a little more. It seems a little more forgiving to me. And then I'm using a double-sided tape, and this is maybe a 1/4 inch wide, and just tear off a piece. I don't put the tape on the edges, and I'll tell you why in a second, but I do put it in between these areas here where they're crossing over. So I will just go ahead and tape down all of the areas that I have together. I'm just going to tack it down for now to make it easier to flip over and show you. So the reason I don't put tape at the ends is because then after I get it positioned on my paper, I can decide, do I want some of the ends at an angle? Do I want some of them, you know, straight on? I can play with the positioning of that. So once I have all of those pieces of tape on, I can just go ahead and set it down onto my cardstock, and then I can trim the ends. So let me bring back in my card and show you how I did this. Once I had it all secured down onto my cardstock, again, leaving some of these ends straight, some of them at an angle. And the reason that you want to do your, cut your Shimmer Sheetz strips with a paper trimmer is so that you make sure you have nice straight lines. It's a lot easier to do that than trying to cut them by hand. Now I also used a stamp in here, and this is from the Artful Collection from Hot Off the Press, that little merci, and it fits perfectly in a 1 3/8 punched circle. So I stamped that with black, punched it, and then wrapped gold embroidery thread around the outside of this matted piece. It's on gold metallic cardstock, and I chose the gold metallic simply because it also has a little bit of a shine to it, but it's not so overwhelming. It won't compete with the shine of the Shimmer Sheetz. And the other nice thing is this technique keeps your, gets a lot of mileage from your Shimmer Sheetz too, because I think once you start playing with them, you realize how many different possibilities there are with them. So you can go wild and blingy with Shimmer Sheetz, or you can take them a little bit more into a vintage direction too, which I think happens to be a lot of fun. So this is using Shimmer Sheetz. I hope you enjoyed the technique. For more inspiration, please do stop by my website at saranaumann.com. Thanks so much, and I'll see you next time.